What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Demo, gangster music! So, man, we flying all the way to Chicago. And right now, we about to get into some real gangster shit. And we're going all the way to O Block. You know, Lil Durk has, a crew, OTF, Only the Family crew. And we know that, O Block has been taking a lot of hits lately. Like Lil Durk's brother recently got killed not too long ago. You know about King Von last year. And then ARoy, all right, or ARoy, however you may pronounce it. And, the young brother was up and coming rapper. But I believe that most of these guys now, which is different than when I was coming up, like guys like MC Hammer, guys, kind of guys like Will Smith. At that time, guys were just rappers and not really so much in the streets. Tupac, But now it's almost 80 or 90% of the guys are in the streets, are now really rapping. It's different. Back in the day, and shout out to George Macon, he pointed this out one day. He was like, a lot of guys back in the day was just gangsters and listening to rappers, Then the rappers are the gangsters now. And that's what's going on with most of these guys. Most of these guys are using rap music to diss hoods, to diss a lot of the dead homies of their rival gangs, talking about the killings. And this is the kind of culture that I believe the young man OTF ARoy was in. Now, he was in O Block, having a fight. Him and his friend was fighting two other guys. He won't show it, but there's a young man that he's beating up. And I can understand how that probably could happen in the hood because, youngsters start, getting out of line, or they, maybe they won't pay money back. So I know those things can happen when you get like a younger guy who might get beat up by an older guy. And this guy ARoy is really beating the crap out the young dude, and he's telling him, you're a grown man, I'll F you up. And while the guy is like motionless there on the ground, ARoy gets up, and which is, the right thing to do. If you have a man that's defeated, you ain't trying to kill the guy. It might be a guy that he might be trying to rough him up or whatever. He might be a little homie, but he ain't trying to kill him. He probably just trying to discipline him or something. But the young man gets up, takes out the gun, and Dima, gunshots please! Yeah, kills the guy. ARoy is there. He's dying on the ground. I've seen the video, and it's kind of it's caught right there on film. Now the young lady that put the video out, she was beat up. And you're seeing this post from Say Cheese just today. She was beat up, and you see her face. She's crying. She was beat up for releasing the footage to the internet. Okay, so I don't know if she was beat up by the young man who shot him, or the guys with ARoy. I think what probably would have happened was that these guys wanted to handle the issues themselves. And I want to talk about this because you got young Dolph killed, you have all these other guys that are killed, and I think for black men that are coming up in these situations, once your life starts to move in a different direction, it's only necessary that you got to get up out of here, because people will try you. I talked about it briefly about like last weekend, 2 weekends ago. It was somebody that looked like me. I had to, that somebody was getting out of line and ask what sounds, Dima. Somebody had to get hemmed up. I'm not gonna say who it was, but the person looked like me that was doing the hemming up. But it's crazy because I was there at an event supporting my homeboy, and it's like, damn, I got to get involved because the situation has to be handled, and I'm putting myself at risk for nothing. And it really goes to show you, like, once your life starts to go in a different direction, you got to get away from these people, man. And I know for a lot of us as black men, we got friends, we got families. We got everybody that's still in our place. I'm from Del Paso Heights, and let me just say this, man, I love Del Paso Heights. I come from a really nice community. It was poor. We had some problems, but I came at the right time. I came at the right time where a lot of the blacks that came from the South were they were in the military, McClellan, you know, my grandparents had lived there for a long time. It's much different than it was 40 years ago or 30 years ago. But it was a good enough community where, you know, you had enough African Americans that could guide you in the right direction. There's a lot of mentorship there. But now it's not the place that you can really do a lot. And shout out to my boy JB. You know, he's from there. He comments all the time on my videos. My brother Shamar, he's from Strawberry Manors. You know, we all from there, man. But, you know, there's nothing there for us to do. You know, shout out to Moses Jenkins. Yeah, he's my brother. I've been knowing Moses since 1994. I mean, and he'll tell you that ain't nothing there for you to do, right? And when you are a guy that's trying to be somebody, you got to get out of that place. You know, just trying to put on for your city, you got to get out of that place. You know what I'm saying? And that was FBG Duck's problem. You know, he was just still there. And I want to talk about this interview that I saw with Lavish D. He's from Sacramento. He did a video with DJ Vlad. And he was like, you know, man, I every time I come back home to Sacramento, you know, it felt like something is going on. I'm having some problems. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm getting around the same people, but when I'm moving away, you know, I'm living good, but I gotta come home to deal with certain things. And I get it. You know, I understand that. But I want black men to understand that when you make it out, you gotta get out of there, because you're gonna be dealing with ignorant stuff like this. Like, if you in a different area with different people and a different mindset, you ain't got to worry about having no fight in the projects with no young guy that don't understand the consequences. And that's why you got to be dealing with people who got something to lose. When you dealing with people who ain't got nothing to lose, you're going to have these problems, you know, because they don't know the consequences. A 17-year-old, he shoots you or something like that. He don't know the consequences of really what's about to go down the rest of his life. He ain't even lived his life like that. You know, he feel like don't nobody care about him, you know, and they probably don't. You can't be over there. You know, you can't be over there. You got to be gone. You got to be out of there. You got to be around the people that's trying to do what you're trying to do. And a lot of brothers, we got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And 1 foot in is not always just like, okay, well, I got 1 foot in the gang shit. I got 1 foot in the rap stuff. No, 1 foot in, 1 foot out is, I'm trying to be a truck driver and I'm still hanging out, you know what I'm saying, over here off Crenshaw. Or I'm trying to be in the businessman and I'm still over here, you know what I'm saying, in North Philly, hanging out with these same chicks I said I was done with. You can't do it that way. You still gonna get caught up. You know, you ain't trying to be in UC Davis Medical Center and you hanging out at Rainbow Market in Del Paso Heights. You're not gonna be able to do that. When I came to Poland, it was everything had to be out for me to come here. Everything. It wasn't no 1 foot in, 1 foot out, nothing. It was everything had to be out. I had to fully commit to being out, fully commit to taking my life in a different direction, getting different friends. I had to force myself, or I'll still be there right now. And that's the choice that some of you black men gotta make. If you're gonna make a choice to be out, or you might not live to see tomorrow, man. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe at the bell. Check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at all-time high. I'm out.